There's such an allure about haunted paintings. You don't hear about many paintings being haunted nowadays, as video and audio recordings have kind of taken the spotlight. But there are a number of pieces that still manage to disturb viewers till this very day. Let's just say money wasn't an issue. Would any of you ever purchase any of the paintings on this list? Let me know down below. That said, I'm your host James, and these are the top 10 haunted paintings that scared their owners. Starting off, we have the Stagecraft by Laura P. This is an interesting one because it's actually an interpretation of a real-life photograph taken by the photographer James Kidd. James hadn't noticed it at first. Once the picture was developed, there was what looked to be a headless man standing on a log beside the old wagon he took a photo of. James even took the picture to experts to have them confirm that the picture hadn't been altered in any way, and apparently, at least according to everyone he spoke to, it hadn't. Artist Laura P. created oil paintings based on photographs and felt compelled to recreate Kidd's stagecoach photo. She described feeling a deep sense of dread almost as soon as she started the piece, and once it was finished, she hung it at a local office where bizarre occurrences began being reported. The painting would be crooked every morning and would have to be readjusted. Things would go missing in the office. Laura was urged to take down the paintings, so she decided to move it into her own home, where she would report even more eerie occurrences. Laura began hearing strange noises in her home, like knocks and footsteps. Objects would be found knocked over. Doors would be seemingly opened on their own. Even some of Laura's friends would report strange occurrences after visiting her home. Her neighbor snapped photos of the painting, and when he returned home, he claimed to have seen a white, hazy figure out of the corner of his eye. He came running back to Laura's house, saying he never wanted to touch the pictures again. The Hands Resist Him by Bill Stoneham. Completed in 1972, this piece is notorious for being one of the most cursed paintings in modern history. All of you probably have heard of this one already. Most of the dark rumors surrounding this painting began on eBay, where the seller claimed that the painting was haunted, and that the boy and girl in the painting would move around at night. Word began to spread across the internet about this strange eBay listing, and some of the people who looked at the painting reported feeling uncomfortable or even ill. It was even revealed that the first critic to review the painting, as well as the owner of the gallery who first displayed the piece, both passed away within 1 year of first seeing it. Now, I can definitely see why this painting could conjure up some creepy feelings in people. It's an unsettling piece of art. The way the boy seems to stare straight at you with the odd doll-like girl beside him standing in front of a window with a void of pure blackness on the other side, except for these small hands that look as if they're attempting to break through the glass. Stoneham's inspiration for the painting comes from Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious, that the collective experience of those who have lived before you have influence over you from the day that you're born, and that we're closest to this collective unconscious when we dream. Stoneham stated when talking about his inspiration for the painting, the hands are the other lives. The glass door, that thin veil between waking and dreaming. The girl/doll is the imagined companion or guide through this realm. Number 8, The Crying Boy by Bruno Amarillo, aka Giovanni Bragolin. The painting, or series of paintings really, started getting mass-produced in the 50s, but in the mid-80s, they started gaining a dark reputation of being cursed. The origins of this superstition began in the mid-80s when a series of unexplained fires occurred in homes across England. Surprisingly, amidst the ashes and devastation, the Crying Boy paintings were found intact in numerous affected houses. The disturbing pattern led to the widespread belief that the painting itself had a malevolent force causing the fires and bringing misfortune upon those who possessed it. Some actually claimed that these paintings were responsible for causing the fire in their homes. And adding to the mystery, several owners claimed that their misfortunes persisted even after attempting to dispose of the painting. These paintings were just really hard to burn, apparently. The only question I have at the end of the day, though, is why anyone would want to hang a painting of a crying kid on their wall. No offense to the artist or anything, but why? Next up on the list we have Love Letters by Richard King, painted in 1990. This painting is actually a replica of Charles Trevor Garland's piece of the same name. The artwork depicts a young girl believed to be Samantha Houston, the daughter of a prominent local family. Legend has it that Samantha fell to her death while staying at the Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas, where the painting still hangs today. Some guests at the hotel claim to feel uneasy around the painting. It seems as if her eyes follow you around. There have even been reports of people fainting upon looking at it for too long. It's also said that if you again stare at the painting for a particularly long time, her expression begins to sort of change, or that she even slightly shifts her position. The Dead Mother by Edvard Munch. Munch is known for his particularly harrowing pieces. His first famous work is, of course, The Scream, an image that is immediately recognizable, but this is his only work that's said to actually be haunted. Let's just start with the title, shall we? Dead Mother. Probably not going to be a very happy painting. The piece depicts a child standing next to her deceased mother's bed, who's believed to have passed away from tuberculosis. Munch also painted multiple versions of this piece, but the concept is always the same. A mother lays dead in her bed, and in the foreground we see a young girl looking straight at us, her hands covering her ears with a look of shock and devastation on her face. It's easy to see why a painting like this could develop such a dark reputation. It's inherently unsettling and sad. Some have said that the eyes of the child seem to follow those who look at the painting, but the creepiest legend behind this artwork is those that claim to hear the slight rustling of the bed sheets when standing close to the piece. The Portrait of Bernardo de Galvez. First of all, the artist is unknown, so that adds a mysterious layer to the whole thing. The painting depicts the Spanish military leader Bernardo de Galvez, who aided American forces in the Revolutionary War. It hangs in the hallway of Hotel Galvez in Galveston, Texas, which looks really nice, by the way. Anyway, this painting really looks like your classic haunted house kind of portrait where the eyes follow you as you walk, which some guests and staff at the hotel claim happens with this one. Some guests have also reported seeing orbs and feeling cold spots near the painting. There's also a rumor that if you try to take a picture of the portrait without asking for Galvez's permission, the picture will come out distorted or out of focus. I'm not sure how this would go with modern technology that we had today, but if I ever find myself in this hotel, probably won't unfortunately, but one can dream, and if I do, just running straight over to that painting to try and snap me a picture before even checking in. Heading straight for it. Number 4, The Rain Woman by Svetlana Telets. Telets had described feeling as if someone or something had been watching her for about 6 months before she sat down to create this piece. She also describes feeling like her hand was being guided by some other force when she created the painting in 1996, and that it took just 5 hours to complete. Multiple people who purchased the painting from her would end up returning it, describing the unsettling presence the piece would have in their homes. People would complain about having insomnia or getting terrible nightmares. They would feel as if they were being watched and experience intense negative emotions. And I gotta say, out of all the paintings on this list, this one kind of gets to me the most. There's something so haunting about it. I feel like if I look at it for too long, she's gonna like a little smile at me or something like that. The distorted body, the strange hat, the dark gloomy backdrop. It's a freaky painting. I don't know what else to say. Imagine having this hanging on your wall, getting up in the middle of the night to like grab a glass of water or something and just seeing the silhouette of the Rain Woman staring back at you in the darkness. No. The Portrait of Henrietta Nelson by William Johnson. In 1816, Henrietta Nelson met a tragic end when she fell down a staircase in her residence in Yaxley Hall, located in the English town of Eye. Following her demise, in accordance with her final wishes, she was laid to rest in a mausoleum situated on the property. However, as time passed, new owners took over the estate and destroyed the mausoleum, opting to relocate Henrietta's remains to a nearby nearby church. And since then, a local legend has emerged, claiming that Henrietta's spirit has been lingering on the grounds, persistently seeking a way back to her intended final resting place. According to reports, a painting of Henrietta created by William Johnson has become a vessel for her kind of ethereal presence. It is said that her ghost accompanies the portrait even when it is removed from the house. Witnesses have described unsettling occurrences like her expression slowly changing in the painting, as well as sightings of a kind of ghostly figure draped in the same attire as Henrietta, wandering the estate's grounds, pale and translucent. Alright, this next one is pretty famous. The Anguished Man. The artist is unknown. This painting, as it's named, depicts an anguished man. Unlike some of the pieces on this list that aren't necessarily scary without context, this one is immediately unsettling. So the man is just kind of stripped of all discernible features. No eyes, no mouth, just black voids, turning him almost into a vessel of pure terror. There's an urban legend that the artist painted part of the picture with his own blood before taking his life. The current owner, Sean Robinson, was given the painting by his grandmother, who kept the piece in her attic. She would tell him stories of disturbing sounds she would hear from her attic, like wailing and crying in the night. Robinson has said that he's experienced disturbing things in his home since taking the painting. His son told him he fell down the stairs and felt as if he were being pushed by unseen hands. Objects in the home would sometimes move by themselves. It's definitely an unsettling piece of artwork. And coming in at number 1, we have Pogo the Clown by John Wayne Gacy. I'd definitely take a portrait of John Wayne over John Wayne Gacy any day. No surprise why this one is said to have an aura of darkness around it. It's a portrait of Pogo the Clown, John Wayne Gacy's alter ego, which he actually painted himself. It's really icky. Not something I'd ever want in my home, but a musician bought it in 2001 apparently, and pretty soon after owning it, his dog passed away, and then his mother was diagnosed with cancer. It could be a complete coincidence, of course, but then a friend of his took the painting, and that friend's neighbor then died in a car crash soon after, and finally a second friend offered to take the piece, and not so long after attempted to take their own life. So, with all that said, I've been your host James, and I will catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.